Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Kanan's Cadence, the show where I talk about my interests, hobbies, and experiences at my own pace and with my own rhythm. Time of recording today happens to be Thanksgiving Day. Time that this goes up, Thanksgiving has already come and gone, but wanted to wish everyone out there a happy Thanksgiving one way or another. Hope everyone enjoyed their time. If you traveled, stayed at home with friends, family, whatever it is that you guys did, hope that everyone got to eat a lot of good food and got to just have a good and relaxing time overall. Me, myself, again, like I'll talk from today's perspective because I'm not going to try to be talking about how things went as though I'm in the future. We're looking forward to the holiday where we all have a couple of traditions that we tend to do for Thanksgiving. And that's kind of just the basis of what I want to talk about today. Don't know exactly how long this one's going to be. Maybe around the same length, maybe a little bit shorter because I got things to do with my family today, but I still wanted to go like just sit down and record, get another episode out there, just talking about some Thanksgiving staples that we tend to do. So um, it's an interesting Thanksgiving for us. It's the first one in this case where we have I might have mentioned before, like I have three siblings, two older, one younger. This is the first Thanksgiving in recent memory, maybe the first one in general, where my sister is actually not present for it because she doesn't live out in Long Island anymore. She doesn't even live in this country anymore. So a flight back for her would have cost quite a bit. So we just communicated as we typically do, just wishing each other happy Thanksgiving and all that type of stuff, wishing her well and whatnot. And the rest of us are here at home celebrating. My older brother came back to visit us as he usually does. Brought his dog with him, and he and I have beef. The dog and I, at the very least, but that's for another time, at the very least. So we all get together. Again, my brother showed up last night. I'm off from work today. Like he's off from work. Everyone's off, so that's always a good time and whatnot. So what do we usually do on Thanksgiving? So again, like it goes a couple different ways for us. Actually, what am I saying? A couple different ways. It's usually going to be like the same type of tradition that we have, where at the very least, those of us who are out in New York, I don't know exactly how many people watch worldwide or countrywide, something like that. But like I'm always watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade takes place throughout. It takes place in Manhattan, New York City, and for me, like that has been like the mainstay when it comes to just what to do the morning of Thanksgiving. Ever since I was a kid, I can't remember a single year that I haven't watched the parade. It's always the same sort of thing. Wake up around like between like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, get myself together, and make sure that I'm up and ready to watch the parade with my family. Years back when I had cable in my bedroom, I would usually put it on in my bedroom while everyone else watched in the living room and stuff. I was antisocial, I guess, but we cut our cable years back, and for me that just makes it better because excuse me, forces me to socialize with my family more. And again, I say that almost in a way where it's just like, oh god, I'm forced to socialize, but no, it encourages me to spend less time by myself because I mean it's a ushering the holiday season in, and season of giving. Like that for me really does start from Thanksgiving. And not just giving, but then also just kind of like this idea of like togetherness and whatnot. So years back, again, when I was a little kid, would watch just by myself in my bedroom, and then even as a teenager, I'd do the same sort of thing, just like calling out to each other, like from room to room, just be like, "Hey, did you see that balloon? Did you see that performance? All that type of stuff." That's how we used to do it. It works a lot better nowadays. That again, like we have just the one communal space in our living room. And again, that's really the way that it should have been, just in general. But anyway, getting off track here. So yeah, like we'll watch the parade, get myself up, get myself downstairs to the living room by the time that the parade is actually starting up. So we got like the Broadway performances that we get to see, which are always like I want to say like each year to year, like they get better and better. Like these performances and like the variety, the diversity in these performances is fantastic, and the performers, whether it's the choreographers, the singers, usually going to be a mix of both, but sometimes you'll have it like split where some people are singing, some people are dancing. Then you'll have like live musicians and all of that type of stuff, and sometimes they'll actually delve a little bit into the Broadway story, whatever it is, what musical they're showcasing at that point. I think that those have just gotten better and better. This year the parade was kicked off by, oh my goodness, I am blanking on her name because I haven't personally watched either Wicked film, but the woman who plays Elphaba, she had kicked off the parade this year with her performance as the second Wicked movie just came out a couple days ago. So that was kind of just their way to start that off, and that was great. Like, she's a fantastic singer, and just a good way to get the crowd like pumped for the parade to come. So those performances are always really, really good. I, especially as I've gotten more into just performing music and all that type of stuff, and like appreciating music even more as I've gotten older, band music, whatever it is, I've started to take really take to the marching band performances that are scattered throughout. Those are a spectacle, and it always makes me think back. I'm like, man, when I was in high school, we didn't have a marching band. Like, my school was small enough already, but definitely not even close to having anything resembling like a proper marching band. I think it wasn't until I was a junior, I believe, in high school, going back over 10 years at this point, that we even considered like putting together like some sort of pep band to play at the sports games. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure that was something that didn't really start until I was midway through high school already. And then it might have been that same year that we kind of like put together like a makeshift marching band where it was like just those of us who were in the symphonic band, maybe a handful of other students at the time who were there, just learn some marching band music, and it was only like two songs or something like that. And we would for the that's right, it was for the homecoming parade. We quote unquote marched from the fire department right around the corner from the school to the football field at the school, just playing the music as part of this again like this parade that we were doing. And again, it was cool because it was the first time that the school, to my knowledge, was doing some sort of marching band thing. If it wasn't the first time entirely, it was at the very least it was the first time that I was there. And again, like, we were not marching band material, not even close. Like, it just made me think of that episode of SpongeBob where they tried to put together a marching band to play in the Bubble Bowl. That's kind of what it felt like, except we never actually got good like they did at the end of that. But that was fun. But so anyway, I see these marching bands in the parade, and I'm like, my goodness, some of them are from high schools, a lot of them are from colleges, just scattered throughout the country. I had an old friend of mine who he was from New York City, and he said that his school had done the parade in the Macy's. They'd done the marching band in the Macy's parade a handful of years prior. When he and I were talking about this is maybe like 5 years back, so maybe like at least like 9 or 10 years ago, like he was part of that. And I'm just like, that's so cool. And again, like, it continued to just like strike me as just like, wow, that's something that I definitely wouldn't have been part of when I was in high school. There was no way. Like, we didn't have that just level of like coordination and like the number of musicians and all that type of stuff to put something like that together. So that's really, really impressive. And it's like fantastic to watch each year. Um, the thing that I really look forward to in this parade every single year are the balloons and the floats. Just seeing which ones are carrying over, which ones are new, just based on stuff that's popular at the time. So some of the ones that are I see all the time, of course, like ones that are staples for the parade, like the Jolly Green Giant's always there, the Pillsbury Doughboy is always there. They always have a Thanksgiving themed one. Usually the cast of Sesame Street is there. It's always fun getting to see them do their thing. And then the parade, it always ends with Santa Claus coming in and ushering in the holiday season properly. I know everyone wants Christmas to start by the end of Halloween. The first day of November, they will start celebrating Christmas proper. Like, everyone puts up their decorations, puts on the music. Again, I guess call me just a traditionalist or nostalgic, whatever it is. I don't care. For me, it's not until Santa Claus ushers in the holiday season at the end of the Macy's parade, that right then is when I allow myself to put on my Christmas playlists and start decorating for it. So only now, as of the time of this recording, the parade ended about 45 minutes ago. So I'm just like, now I'll play the Christmas music. I'm all for it. You can't get me to do it any sooner. Like, I refuse. Like, I put like a boycott on Christmas music until the end of this Macy's parade, and I stand by that. Don't try to change my mind. So anyway, again, off track. The floats and the balloons. Like, the balloons have always been my favorite part of this parade since I was a kid, just because a lot of them will have characters that I really recognize from stuff that I've been into from when I was young. So, like, ones that I saw in the parade today were like Goku from Dragon Ball Z. You got Luffy from One Piece, Pikachu and Eevee, so Pokemon. Um, Even like you'll have, and then Spider-Man as well, like he's always there. But then you'll have ones that I've seen before, and I'm glad to see that they're still returning. Like you'll get like Greg Heffley from the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series, which again, like I knew those books as they were being released initially when I was young, and now I don't remember the actual number. I think it's like the 21st book or something like that is on its way from the author, and I'm just like, wow, I remember when he was putting out the third book years back. That's crazy to me. So it's cool to see that series is still, it's still got a nice foothold. um there are other things that were included that are just like either beyond me in some way or another, like two that kind of stand out that have like blown up in popularity this year that I still just don't understand, and I don't think that I'm supposed to. K-pop Demon Hunters is one of them. Like I get the buzz, but then at the same time I don't get really the appeal is the thing, and I'm not really eager to. But I'm it's cool to see that type of representation for something that really has taken the world by storm this year, getting a float and stuff just dedicated to it, performances, like a lot of big stuff in the parade for this, which I thought was really, really cool. Even if I don't personally understand the appeal, I still respect it at the very least. And then the other thing was this one I understand even less. The Boo Boo, whatever it is. Again, like I feel like I might be opening the floodgates just mentioning these things in some way or another. I'm not going to pretend that I understand it. I'm not going to even try to understand it because frankly I don't care. It's again, it's I'm not so high and mighty to say, oh, it's beneath me, but it's like below my, it's not my demographic at the very least. So like, it's not something that I'm going to try to get. And I don't think that I have to. All I know is that people were going crazy seeing that float too. And I'm just like, all right, more power to you. I will stand over here. You guys do your stuff over there. That's basically what it boils down to. But yeah, so got a lot of stuff in the parade. And again, like it's always a lot of fun. And it's cool getting to watch this with my family basically every year and do the same sort of thing, just the stuff to watch for. And it's just, again, like it's a tradition. So, what are other traditions that me and my family have for Thanksgiving? I mean, like, obviously, like there's a Thanksgiving dinner and stuff, but like, how does that go? So, usually, what will be the case is that we watch the parade. My mom usually. And she did the same thing this morning. She'll be like, "Oh, do you guys want omelets?" So she'll go and she'll make everyone omelets, which was great. Like she's a fantastic cook, and that reason right there, her being a fantastic cook, is the reason why she usually will just take over the kitchen and just she'll do her thing. Like she will make everything. She will usually clean a lot of the stuff as she goes, in spite of like any other things that she might have going on herself. Like she's really, really busy, has a lot to do, but she just takes the kitchen and she makes it her workplace for hours at a time. And the rest of us will kind of just like she'll put on the National Dog Show that comes on right after the Macy's parade and all that type of stuff, and that's when she usually gets started with her cooking and such, while the rest of us will kind of just do our thing on the sidelines waiting for dinner to be done. Me lately in the last few years especially, like I've wanted to pitch my own assistance to her a little bit more, just to get, like give her a helping hand. Like she does so much for us. I feel like she shouldn't have to be the only one cooking all the time and doing the stuff in the kitchen. Like I want to give her my assistance when I can. Usually she rejects it. She appreciates it, but she says, "No, no, I'm good and I will just do what I do. You go relax," all that type of stuff. This year though, I decided, I was like, "No, I've gotten myself more into cooking." That's another like episode idea that I have myself, is just like talking about like my endeavors with cooking and whatnot throughout the year, and the previous couple years at that too. But anyway, before that, since I've gotten into doing more cooking lately, I decided, I was like, okay, well, I want to try my hand at making my own dish. Doesn't have to be anything too crazy, and I actually wanted to keep it kind of simple enough to make so that I can try to just make it good. Is a thing, like find a way to make it like just basic, but still like still sufficient, like does the trick. So I decided, I was like, okay, well, I want to make a baked mac and cheese. I know how to make a pretty solid cheese sauce, like as a base for a mac and cheese and all that type of stuff. So in this case, I'm like, okay, well, happened to luck out because the my mom, when she was placing the orders for all the food that she wanted to get, she had told me that when she ordered the mac and cheese, they were actually out of it. So they didn't end up shipping any to us, or she didn't have it shipped. Like we picked it up, but nonetheless, like the store didn't have any mac and cheese. And I was like, okay, well that works out for me because I wanted to make baked mac and cheese anyway. So I decided that that's going to be my contribution. I'm feeling good about it. I haven't made it yet. Again, fingers crossed. I'm still hoping that it turns out well, is the thing. But we will see. We will see. Again, like it's gonna feel good for me, good enough at the very least to just get started getting to do something in the kitchen um to help out with Thanksgiving stuff. Take a little bit off of my mom's shoulders there too. But at the same time, I'm gonna try my best not to spend too much time in the kitchen because I don't want to step on her toes. I don't want to get in her way because she has her way of doing things, and I respect it, and I want to just allow her to do the stuff with the flow that she typically has one way or another. So in the meantime, that's why like I decided to take a step back while she's getting started right now, utilize some time later on once she's like kind of in between certain things. That's when I'll go back to the kitchen. I was like, okay, well I've got some time. Let me get upstairs and record my next episode. So that's usually how it goes as far as what we do in the morning, how the afternoon goes, and then the evening, of course, is when like once everything's done, usually around like I want to say like latest 7 p.m. or something like that. That's usually when we'll all sit down. We have our huge spread of food, which I'm really looking forward to. I usually will make sure to snap some pictures of our spread, see how it changes year to year, and all that type of stuff. Definitely going to have some pictures to share with that. But yeah, so beyond that, like all that I wanted to talk about with Thanksgiving, and not to get like not to get like sappy or anything like that, but like it's a season about like a season and holiday about like just thankfulness and all that type of stuff. And over the last few years, I want to say, really for the last about 3 or so years, but then this year especially, I've been trying to like take even more to heart like this concept of just like thankfulness and just appreciation, gratitude, and all that type of stuff. This holiday, one of the main reasons that I don't like overlooking this holiday at this point, people will be like, oh, well, I'll just eat dinner on Thanksgiving, but I'm going to celebrate Christmas from the end of October, sorry, all the way through like the end of February. Some people will, and I'm just like, I can't bring myself to do that. I found myself embracing Thanksgiving even more over the last couple of years because of this concept of gratitude and just like togetherness and all that. Because I mean, like I've had struggles. Everyone's had struggles, but like these last couple of years for me, like I've had some like major peaks and valleys, like a lot more valleys than I would have anticipated in the years like post college that I've had these last 5 or so years, I want to say. Major low points, maybe about 3 years or so ago. And I want to, as I continue to get older, again, at this point I'm approaching 30 is a thing. So I'm trying to actually cherish my time, like actually reflect on like the stuff that's good in my life and like embrace it. So like Thanksgiving being a time that is supposed to be dedicated to that sort of thing, the holiday season in general, like through Christmas and all that, but like just Thanksgiving, I'm like, that's the whole purpose. Like it's in the name. It is the name. Thanksgiving, giving thanks. Like that's what the season is about. And the holiday. And I'm just like, I have a lot that I'm grateful for wasn't really, that I wasn't really focusing on enough. Over the last few years is the thing. So I wanted to just take a couple minutes here to even just like go through a couple of those things. Like if we're, just, I want to say just like maybe if I can, like at the very least 3 things that I'm grateful for just in general. The first and foremost is always going to be my family is the thing. Like my family, like more and more, like as especially like as time goes on and we continue to like be more and more scattered. Again, my sister is in Japan now. My older brother lives out of state. I'm getting myself to a point where I'm trying to move away from home. Um, those times when all of us can just be together is the thing. Those times are like even more like they're so few and far between at this point, but that makes them so much more important because you never know. It's like when is the next time that my sister's going to be in this country where we'll be able to actually take time and like all be together like we were just a handful of years ago and stuff like that. So I always got to embrace that whenever I'm able to. So family, of course. Right after that, I have very, very near and dear friends to me who some of which I've met in the last just couple of years is a thing. Some I've known for like years and years, of course, but like I've been doing what I can, especially nowadays, to really just like take, again, like give more appreciation to these people who have been so important to me is a thing. A lot of you, some I've already mentioned here, but I have like best friends of mine that have like that they know who they are at this point. And again, like they knew, like I know who I can lean on and such. They know me better than most people would. And I, again, like I do know a lot of people, but like I consider just a select handful, like maybe upwards to like, I want to say like, but somewhere between 5 and 10 people would like know me. And like that's really as many as I would need, just given the people who I know is a thing. Like they are and will always be considered like my very best friends is the thing. And again, just like as long as they're near and like can always like I can always have them to like count on and all that type of stuff, then again, right there, like that's another thing to like really, really appreciate. And the last thing, because I'm gonna wrap up in just a sec, like I said, I still have some things to do today. The last thing that I wanted to like point out that I'm really thankful for is just how like the growth that I've been able to recognize in myself is a thing, and like that's largely been throughout the last year or so. I've had a lot of change in my life since I want to say roughly around November of last year. So just about a year. A lot has come and a lot has gone from my life. And a lot of, like I said, peaks and valleys since 2022 especially, but I have kind of found myself more so, I want to say, over the last few years, last year especially, and I've made it a point to like do my best to just be the better, like the best version of me that I can aim to be. Um, Working about my habits and all that type of stuff, like trying to build the good and break the bad. I spoke about that a few weeks ago in one of my episodes. If you happen to listen to that, and just the trying to like set myself on my goals and keep to them. Like just keep reminding myself of what it is that I'm working towards and why is the thing. Like I need to make sure that I don't lose sight of that and allowing myself to branch out and do stuff that I wouldn't have thought possible or possible for someone like me is a thing in the past. Like I've spoken about like photography. I might have mentioned, yeah, again, like in that habits episode I did some time ago, probably mentioned that I've been like working out like 3 times a week at the very least and reading every single day, save some exceptions where I wasn't able to. Making it an actively making it a point to keep track of my habits that wanna I want to keep with my life and keep building and remembering why I'm trying to break the ones that I'm trying to break and all that type of stuff. And this was also the year that I finally set myself on what I want to study for grad school. So it gives me the ideas that I have for my future again, and like where I want to move, what I want to study, what I want to potentially do as a career, and how I can work in numerous interests into that idea. So again, I'm like really excited about that. But that again, like all these things, if I looked back even 1 year and thought of, I tried to think of the things that I'm even considering and doing with my life right now, I wouldn't have believed that that would have been me. So again, like I really am happy with where things are for me right now, and like how I've managed to like shape and cultivate my life to be the way that it is right now. Again, it's not perfect, but it's mine is the thing. And like that's for me, that's the most important thing right there. So like I said, don't want to get too sappy, but Thanksgiving is at its core a holiday about giving your thanks to these things that are important. So that's why I'm like, if I'm going to be talking about Thanksgiving today, there is no way that I could go without saying this type of stuff. Anyway, again, for my friends, my family, like anyone who is like near and dear to me like this, even if you're not like all that close, like anyone who is like in my life is going to be important to me in one way or another. The ones who are the closest, again, you know who you are, and again, like I'm endlessly grateful for you guys, and grateful for myself too. Like that's the most important right there. Cool. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I know that by the time that this episode goes up, Thanksgiving has already passed. So again, like I said, I hope that everyone has enjoyed it at this point. I hope that it was nice getting to be with family or with your friends or loved ones, whatever it is, just doing as you do. And at this point, we are effectively into December. Oh God, when this posts, that means that I'm going to have to be starting up my Disney December marathon throughout the month of December. So I think that I have a topic for my next episode just with that. So anyway, before I go on any longer, happy Thanksgiving again. Here's to the proper start of the holiday season. Again, I won't back down off that hill. And I will catch you guys in the next episode. Take care.